Namaskar. In this session, we will go through Python fundamentals. In Python, you can do a whole lot of programming. There are three kinds of programming that you will always see: application programming, systems programming, then programmings for ML and AI. When it comes to systems programming, people use a whole lot of C, C++, assembly languages to write device drivers, to write system level or hardware level information programs, chip level programs. Whereas when it comes to application level, we use Java, PHP, even Python also. A whole lot of languages are being used. There, business logic is coded. COBOL is one of the still living programming languages, still growing, where business logic, for example, the business logic of a bank or an insurance company or an ERP or a manufacturing plant is programmed because it's all rule based. In systems programming as well as applications programming, you will see a whole lot of logic being written. You take any program, you will see a whole lot of functions, parameters being passed, a whole lot of data validations. All these things happen. Almost in every function, you will see at least one if condition, maybe a loop, exception handling, all these things will be there. When it comes to programming for ML and AI, we are not going to write a whole lot of code. If an application programmer for a bank is writing maybe 5,000 lines maybe per month, or let us say 10,000 lines per month, in ML and AI, we will not be writing that many lines. Reason is, a whole lot of libraries are already pre-programmed, and if you just call that one line, load this file, in one line it will load into a variable. Convert this file into a data set, a data frame, in one line the whole thing will be done. Apply this particular logic, split this into two halves or two parts, 80% this side, 20% this side. You convert them into two different arrays or data frames. In one line you can write. So, when it comes to ML and AI programming, you will not be writing a whole lot of logic because we are going to deal more with data than business logic. So, you don't have to write a lot of lines. First, have that in mind because you don't have to worry about that. But still, you need to understand every single line because every single line does a whole lot of job. Python, to do Python, there are a lot of free editors, IDEs available. One easiest way to deal with Python is using Google Colab. You need to have a Google account, Gmail account or Google account, log in through that, and then if you type Colab, you will see this Google Colab. This Colab provides a lot of stuff and you can do lot of programming in Python, and this is really available. In this, I am going to just start new notebook in Drive. This is a new notebook. Okay, let it load. Now it is loaded. You could see here something called connect because they are providing a runtime engine automatically. You can write a program right here. This is a code, there is a documentation text available. To start with any programming language, first thing is a comment. A comment starts with hash. This is a comment. That means this will not be executed. Okay, this is just for our reading purposes. And always in any programming language, you will deal with variables. A variable is nothing but a placeholder. In mathematics, you are saying y is equal to mx plus c. That x is a variable. A is a constant, c is a constant. Now, when you say y is equal to, that y is also a variable, m1 x1 plus m2 x2, this m is a constant, x is a variable. The value of the variable keeps on changing. So, what you can do with is, for example, I define a variable v1. The variable should start with an alphabet. It can have underscore in it, not any other characters. There should not be any blank space in between the variable name. I say v1 is equal to 10. This is an assignment. Assignment meaning you are putting a value to that variable. You are storing 10 in that variable. Now I say another variable, variable 2 is equal to 20. So I have defined two variables. These two variables I have assigned a value also. How do I know that this actually has the value 10? To know what is the current value of this v1, you can use the word print. Print that variable v1. You can also say print that variable v2. Print is a statement, is an output statement. So when you say print, how will I execute? In Colab, you can simply click here. If you say run this particular portion, I can say click on this, it runs. At the bottom you could see connecting to Python Google Compute Engine. It has allocated a runtime. It is initialing the program. It is running. Now the output is shown here. This is the program part. This is the output part. Okay. So the variable's value 10 is printed here. The variable's value 20 is printed here. Imagine in line number 7, I am changing the v1 is equal to 12. Now if I print again v1 on this line, on line number 3, I am assigning a value 10. So when it comes to line number 5 to print, the value is 10. Line number 7, I am assigning a value 12. When it comes to line number 8, it will print the value of 12. Let us see that. Let us execute this once again. Initially it was 10, after that it was 12. So whenever you want to run it and then try it as a practice, you can always do an execution right from here. Hope this is clear. Very simple. Now I have assigned a numeric value. Now let me do one thing. Instead of 12, I am going to say 25.124. Here it is an integer value. Here it is a floating real number. Real number meaning it has got after the decimal point, it has got values also. This is a whole number. Now let me execute. On this line, it is able to hold integer. On this line, it is able to hold real number. If you take conventional programs like C, C++, you are specifically going to say this is an integer variable, this is a floating point variable. You cannot interchange the types. Whereas in Python, whatever value you store in that variable, the type of the variable automatically gets changed. How do I know what is the type of the variable? Again, there is another thing. It's I say print type of that variable. Okay. Now I am going to say type, the keyword type, then the variable name, put the whole stuff within the print statement. Okay. Here the variable's type is something. Let us print here. On this line, what is the type? On this line, what is the type? Let us try. If you see here, on line number 6, it was holding a value of 10, whole number. It was saying class. Class means a particular type. It is integer, int. When it comes to this portion, it is printing the word float. That means automatically based on the value you assign to that particular variable, the type of the variable also changes. Let me show you one more thing. We have seen in the previous sessions that the values or the data can have integer type, floating type, that means both are numeric, text also. Let me do one thing. Same variable v1 is equal to, let us say, Chennai. Now let us say print v1. Now let us print the type of v1. Let us execute it once again. If you see here, initially v1 was having the value 10. It was having the variable type integer. Again we assigned the floating point, the type changed to float. The text value you will give within single quotes. It took the value when it comes to this line, because of the value that you assigned is a string, automatically the type also of the variable changed to string. So this is like a chameleon. This variable type, depending upon the value, it keeps on changing. Hope you understand this point. Now, I want to move forward. We have seen simple variable types, print output statement. I want to have one more section rather than having all the code here. If you mouse over here, it says code. Click on the code, it adds another section. So you can have in Colab section by section, you can execute section by section independently also. Now I want to say get the input from the user. So far what I am doing is I have assigned Chennai or 20 or 25.124 directly in the program. Now no. User wants to give the input through the keyboard, get that input and then print that input. To do that, what you need to do is, there is a command. Let us say v1 is equal to input. Print is the output statement, input is the one that gets the input from the keyboard. Okay. Give a number. Okay. Now you need to give that within single quotes. So you need to give within single quotes. If there is any error, it will tell. Now let us say print v1. Now I am going to say print the type of v1. Let us execute this. If you see here, I have given a message, give a number. That message is printed over here. And then it is waiting for me to type the input. I am saying give a number 234 and then I give enter. I know I have typed 234 as number, but it is internally taking it as a string. Anything that is coming from the keyboard, this program will take it as a string, not as a number. I know I have given the number, but I have to understand that keyboard is a stream of keystrokes. Whether A or B or 1 or 2, the keyboard doesn't differentiate. So program also takes it as string. Now if I want to convert that to a number, this is called a type conversion. To do the type conversion, let us say v2 is equal to, v1 has some value which is a type called string. Now I want to convert that to integer, you can say int of v1. Okay. Now let us say print v2. Okay. Because if I try to do one thing, I will show you why it is going to have a problem. Okay. Now if I say print v1 plus 10. Okay. Let us try. I have got the number from the user. Print that plus 10. Let us see what happens. I am typing 23. It is giving me error because I typed 23. When it comes to line number 4, it is trying to add 10 to a string. Plus 10 is a numerical operation. A numerical operation cannot be applied on a string. That is why it is giving an error. So if we need to do some operations, let me comment this line because this is going to be error, right? If I want to do some calculation on the number that is given from the keyboard, I need to convert it. Now I do print V2 plus 10. Let us see how this works. Now let me run this. 24. So this 24 is converted to a number stored in V2. That V2 is now number 24. That plus 10 is equal to 34. Right? So if you want to get input from the user and do numerical calculations on that, you have to convert that into either integer or float before you do arithmetic. Hope this concept is clear. Now, very simple. Whether I want to do V plus 10 or V minus 10, again you can execute plus minus. If you put the star symbol, it is multiplication. If you put the slash, that is division. Okay. So arithmetic operations like plus, minus, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division can be directly done pretty much like we write it in a mathematical equation. So we have seen basic output, basic variables, basic input, a basic type conversion. We have seen only numbers now. We also need text. Let us try to do a few text example. Okay. Suppose I say V is equal to, okay, let us say T is equal to, how are you? How are you? Okay, sorry. So I am assigning a string to this variable T. If I say print T, it is going to print, no issues. Okay. Let us just try this. I just assigned how are you, it is printing. Now I want to know, typically when you are dealing with text, the first thing that you want to know is how many characters are there, number of characters in that. So how do I find it? I say, let us say L is equal to len of T. Okay. What is len? This is a command. This print is a keyword, input is a keyword, len is a keyword. When I say len, it will calculate the length of that string. Now let me print it. It says 12. How is it 12? 3, the space is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This question mark 12. Suppose I put some spaces over here. Now let us run it again. It is saying 15. So anything within the single quotes, whether it is a space, whether it's a question mark, everything is treated, whether the space is leading, whether the space is trailing, it is all treated as one character. So the total length is 15. So len is a command. Now I want to convert this whole string to uppercase. For example, let me do one small thing. A part of the string is already in uppercase, capital letters. Now I want to say print. How do I convert this? T dot upper. Okay. There is a keyword. When you say that variable, string variable dot upper, square, the regular brackets, it will convert everything to uppercase. Let us execute. Now if you see here, all these lowercase letters were initially loaded. After I converted to upper, the whole thing became uppercase. Same way, now you know, to convert it to a lowercase, it is very simple, T dot lower, right? Let us execute. A part of the string was already in uppercase, fully converted to uppercase, fully converted to lowercase. So converting into capital letters, small letters, this is all done. Okay. Now, next thing is, I want to extract part of the string. Let us get first 5 characters of the string. How do I do? Print. This whole string is treated as an array. Let us say T, let us say 1:5. I print it. Let us print it. When I say 1:5, I expect normally H to be the first character, but when I say 1, it is leaving that 1, right? It is taking only this much, up to 5th character, starting from the first character up to 5th character. Now, if I say starting from this 0th character to the 5th character, now you run, it is able to print HOWA, including the space. So, the first position starts with 0. Okay. There is one more trick over here. Rather than mentioning 0, if I just omit and then say :5, still it does the same thing. So, starting from the beginning of the string till the 5th character, print. Now, same way I can also do one more thing. Print that variable from the 5th character, rest of the characters. From the 5th character, rest of the character, print it. That is also possible. From the 5th character, rest of the characters, it is printing over here, including the space. So, either you can give starting from this character, suppose I want to say print in that string T, starting from the 3rd character up to 7th character. This is also possible. Starting from the left up to the 5th character, from a particular character to the end of the string, you can extract. When you say print, you can always, instead of printing, I can always assign to another variable and then take it forward. Either way, it is fine. So, basic string conversion is this. I hope this is clear. In any programming language, you will always see the fundamental principles of comments, variables, numeric variable values, floating values and integer values, string values, extraction from the string, conversion of the types, and then conversion of the strings to characters into uppercase and lowercase. This is very basic, and arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction. This is fundamental, whether it is C or Java or Pascal or COBOL, it is the same thing. Now, just a few syntax, the grammar of the language may vary a little bit, but in general, you will see most of the languages now use the same kind of a syntax. Now, next section. Now, I am going to make, so far we have seen only assignments. Now, we are going to make decisions. How do I make decisions? The word if I have to do something, if this number is greater than that, do something. If this number is greater than that, do something. So, if is a decision maker. How do we make if? Very simple. Let us say V1 is equal to input of give a number, okay. V2 is equal to input give another number, okay. Now, I know because whenever I am getting numbers from the users, I have to convert. So, you can always say int, cover it with int, so that everything will be converted. It is first getting input. After getting the input, it will convert it to integer. Now, I want to make a decision whether V1 is greater, right, or V2 is greater. Now, I want to say if V1 greater than V2, then you need to put a colon here after giving the condition within the bracket. This greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, these are all called relational operators. They do comparison. That relational operator is applicable to one variable on the left hand side and another variable on the right hand side. It will do the relationship and then it will return true or false. You have to put the colon. The moment you put the colon and then do an enter, look at this, the cursor comes one tab always in indentation. In C language or Java, we used to use these curly braces to make the begin and end. In COBOL, you say begin and end. Whereas here, the tab indentation defines a block. If then else is a block statement. Whereas a variable is not a block statement, it's a line statement. It's a one singleton statement. Whereas if, loops, functions, they are all block statements. So this is the true part. If this is true, if this condition is true, control comes here. Now I would say print V1 is greater, right? Now else, you put else colon print V1 is not greater, correct? So this is the block. If you look at this then part and the else part, we don't use the word explicitly then. The moment you put the colon and then hit the enter, it comes here. Now let me execute this. Give a number 5, I enter. Give another number, I enter 7. It says V1 is 5, V2 is 7. So V1 is not greater. Now let me execute once again. V1 7, V2 5. Since V1 7 is greater than V2, control comes here, it executes this line, correct? So this is how a basic if else block works. There are multiple variations are if, so you can also look into the help documents and then learn it further, but this is the fundamental of if then else. In every programming language, you always have loops, okay? Again, this session, we are not going to cover the entire Python programming. This is only a gist because you might have already learned some languages in your 10th or 11th or 12th in your course. So you would have already gone through those things. This is only touching that portion. If you want to have a lot more help on Python, you can go to this W3C school Python, correct? If you do a search on this, W3 schools is a great place where you can get all the tutorials in the exact sequence along with examples. You can type it here, you can try it here itself. So you can see a whole lot of information right here, okay? So Python examples are given right in this W3C schools. For details, you can always go to this site, read very simple examples, you can try right here itself. Let us come back to our program. This is fundamental if then else block. Now I am going to do one more thing. I am going to add the next section. You always see in any programming language, first thing is variables as assignments, then arithmetic calculations, then relational operations, do a condition, do a logic, then always repeat, repetition or loops. When I have to say loop, for example, V1 is equal to int input of get a number, okay? So now I am getting input from the user. So many times I need to print hello, 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 something like that. How will I repeat? Repetition or a loop is done in multiple ways. First thing is a for loop. When I say for, I have to give a for counter. Let us say I, typically I, j, k, these are all the things that we use as a for loop counters in range, right? This is a syntax of a Python program. In range 1 comma that V1, okay? Then I put a colon. Now I say print, so many times print hello, okay? That's all I want to do. So what I want to do is print I am above the loop outside, okay? So this is the first statement that I am going to execute. After the loop is finished, now I am below the loop. This statement as well as this statement are outside the loop. This is the loop block. I am printing one statement above and below, outside the loop. Now let me execute this. It is asking me a number. I say 5. It says, since I have given in the range 1 comma v1, it is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is not printing 5 times, right? It is not printing 5 times. Either you can make it as 0 to that v1 or v1 plus 1, it is up to you, right? Let me say from 0 in the range 0 to 1, now it is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The moment v1 reaches 5, it exits the loop and then coming out. Typically the syntax in C language, you could see for I is equal to 0, semicolon, I less than 5 or I less than or equal to 5, semicolon, I plus plus. You don't have to automatically put that incremental statement. Now I am automatically incrementing by 1. By default it is incrementing by 1. Suppose I say the next parameter in the range, for I in range, this is the initial value, this is the final value, this is the increment. Now let me execute this. Let us say 9. When I execute 9 for 0, next time it goes to 2, next time it goes to, it is incrementing by 2. How do I know it is incrementing by 2? Inside the loop, let us print that value also. Let us print the value of I also. Then you will understand it very clearly. Now let me execute this once again. I am executing for 9. Initially it was 0, printing hello. From 0 it is incremented to 2 because I have mentioned the increment size as 2. Then it is incremented to 4, then it is incremented to 6, then it is incremented to 8. The moment next time it comes inside the loop, it becomes 10, then the value is exceeding, so it is coming out. So you need to ensure the for loop is called a definitive loop, because in for loop you are mentioning how many times it has to, from what value to what value it has to execute. So this is a definitive loop. Okay, there is one other loop. We will also see that and then conclude this session with that. The second kind of a loop is called a while loop. Now let me capture the same thing. Okay, let me copy paste this whole stuff. In this session, I am getting the number. Okay, I am just I am below the loop outside. Rather than for loop, I am going to put a while loop. What is the syntax for while loop? The word while, then within bracket a condition. What is the condition? You need to ensure as long as this condition is true, keep executing. Let us say I less than v1 colon. What is the value of I? Initially I am setting the value of I is equal to 1. Okay. Inside the while loop it is a block. So you need to ensure that you are doing one indentation. Now I say print I, print hello. But the thing is, in while loop, if I leave like this, the value of I is 1, I is less than v1, yes, it prints, it comes back again, it comes back again. I doesn't change. So this can go for an infinite loop. When you are writing while condition, while loops, ensure at some point of time this condition becomes false. Otherwise, if the condition remains true, you will be trapped in an infinite loop. So what I am going to do is to make sure that the I changes, I is equal to I plus 1. I am incrementing the value of I plus 1. Now let us execute this one. Okay. It is asking me this value. Now I am executing, say 9. It is going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Now I have given a condition as long as this I is less than V1. At one point of time, after 8, it becomes 9. 9 is not less than 9. 9 is equal to 9. So this condition becomes false. It comes out of the loop. If I don't write this, if I forgot to write this incremental value to that I, that means the loop counter is not changed. The condition always remains true. The while loop gets into infinite loop. So whenever you are writing while loop, be very, very careful. In this session, just to recap, we have seen the fundamentals of how to get into Colab, and you can always say this Colab in your drive. It is available for you. Okay, I can change this to, and you have to just, it's a free account. In Google, you get Python example 1, right? So you can save this. This is available in your Gmail, in your Google account. Just to summarize, we have seen basic comments, variables, assignment of values, finding the type of the values onto the variable, typecasting, converting string to integer, dealing with string comments, string values, basic if condition, and for loop and while loop. There are more elements in Python. We will deal that in subsequent sessions. Thank you. Jai Hind.